So working with the presidency is quite intense work. The work doesn't stop just after your kind of normal day where you've written some inputs and so on, because what you're really trying to do is also to connect to different stakeholders, manage to find interesting events, conferences that you can attend in order to better understand the positioning of some actors on key topics, and what happens if that actor changes position and is a bit more critical, for example, towards the stand of the EU on some key issues. As a presidency, you have to be aware of that in order to also be able to engage that sort of actor in hopefully a constructive dialogue. So in the first semester 2024, then we as ECDPM supported the Belgian presidency to the Council of the European Union. And it's something that as ECDPM we do quite regularly. I think we've been supporting something like 16 presidencies over the past 2 decades or so. And it's not also the first time that I am supporting also or involved in the presidency. But definitely it was one of the most exciting yet challenging presidencies I've ever served. I think the level of ambitions were very high, but in terms of the impact and the outcomes, it was also extremely positive. So, I mean, not only for us receiving positive feedback from the presidency itself, but also other EU member states coming to us and saying, well, this Belgian presidency was actually one of the most engaging, stimulating presidencies that we've had, and we really felt that it helped advance some of the discussions on key issues that even today we are still seeing some policy processes that are still advancing, still moving, and I think that the Belgian presidency somehow was a positive factor in this overall process. In a way, the benefits of this collaboration that we had were at the political level, but also in terms of technical solutions. And there, the work that and support that we provided on development finance, on global gateway, we really put forward key questions. And as ECDPM, we can be a bit provocative as well in those discussions and actually mention some key areas where we think not enough thinking has been put on it, or not enough careful follow-up. It's every day about getting the relevant kind of market intelligence, at the same time doing your own work and engaging into those events and papers that we are doing, but the work never really stops. And likewise, I think what we want is to be closely engaged with the presidency, which means that we make ourselves very much available, because there can be a little crisis or there can be some issues here and there, and the presidency itself, they're working 24/7. So in a way, we have to also be a bit flexible and be able to respond sometimes to requests that come maybe a bit late, or it's just a simple questions, but we need to be there. And I think being able to rely on us is also why, some presidencies are coming to us saying that, they want to work with us. What's interesting is that, then today we also see the link between the discussions that we had during the Belgian presidency in 2024, and now we are in 2025 where we're discussing the next MFF. And there, again, issues around global gateway, the EFSD Plus are coming back to the fore and are being discussed. And there, again, there is a strong demand from EU member states, from the EU as well, in order to see what are the changes that we can apply in order to have a framework that is just more impactful in terms of the objective that we have in mind. So we are already in early 2025, and we've already started discussions with the Danish presidency or upcoming presidency to basically clarify the type of priorities, topics that they want to put on the table, and what are some of the best ways as well to approach them. So again, I think this process should not be neglected, in the sense that, we can engage during the presidency, but before the presidency is even more strategic. So this is really where we can use our brains, provide advice at a time where there's still a bit of flexibility, because once we are in the exercise, everything goes fast, and there's not necessarily the time, neither the perspective to take a step back and say, well, maybe we should shift our positioning, we should maybe focus on that topic. This is already quite late in the process, so it's something that you have to prepare carefully ahead of time. And then I think in terms of the actual support, this is also where, as ECDPM, we're trying to plan ahead what we're going to do, the capacities that we need to dedicate, but at the same time, we perfectly know that it's impossible to do in practice. This is where it goes beyond just, making some research, but it's really about you and I having a dialogue and being able to advise you based on the type of issues that you're facing. And I think this is also where that support is much needed.